And so I love these little companies. Sometimes we have to wait, but all I can say is that if you bought it at 8 cents Canadian, well, how long do you want to wait to say get $1 or $2? I mean, it's worth waiting for is my mindset. So just be patient. And it's all about what's going to be coming is the market environment is going to change.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Well, I haven't had this person on in a while, but I'm really happy to get him back. Dudley Baker, commonstockwarrants.com. Got a question for Dudley myself? Shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Dudley, so, hey, the sector, our mining sector here, well, the price of metals has taken off. Certainly gold trading at all-time or near all-time nominal highs. Silver still only 60% of its all-time highs. When is this thing going to turn around here?
Well, it's good to be here, Kerry, and I sure wish I knew the answer to that question. I think all of us in the business are kind of scratching our heads as to, with gold up where it's at. So as we speak, we're only like, $60 off the all-time high. Silver a little bit down just a little bit, but I mean it's looking good for the metals. Other than some of the bigger mining companies, the little ones, exploration companies that I love to play because of the incredible upside leverage once they do kick in and once things start happening. But right now, that game has not started. And the smaller companies are still damn near hovering at their lows. What do you do with this? As our friend Rick Rill would say, I mean, just as a pure contrarian, this is the time we need to be accumulating. Now, are we going to have to wait another 3 months, 6 months, or a year before we start getting some really good prices to the upside? I don't have the answer to that question. I'm a guy that I just think I've got to buy now when I feel like these are about as low as they could go. And so many of the stocks that I own, I mean, we're talking pennies.
Yeah.
And even warrants, pennies. And the deal is, you just need to be patient here. Our time will come. And I think it's going to, maybe it's months or whatever, but I just can't believe, it's hard to believe everything that we're facing in the world today, with the bombs being, sailing left and right and all over in the Middle East and all the political, I'll say chaos going on in the United States. Assassination attempts, all kind of stuff. Nothing has been enough to even rattle the cage on these little mining stocks. So it's good that gold and silver are holding up. I think we're just building a base here at these high prices. And for the next major leg up, we just don't know exactly when that's going to kick off.
Yeah, well, it always does, though, right? The dogs, every dog has its day, right?
Oh, yeah. If we knew the answer to when, we'd all been rich yesterday,
Yeah, well, hey, our day will come, right?
Yeah.
So to poise, to get ready, your thing is warrants, commonstockwarrants.com. I think for many of you out there, you're probably not familiar with warrants. They're not as big a factor in the market as they were, say, 30, 40 years ago, when even a lot of big board companies in the U.S. would give out warrants as part of, capital raising incentive, if you will. Now it seems like it's the miners and very micro caps that are giving them out now and actually listing them.
Yeah, it's just a different game. As I look at it, it was probably back in 1980 when Chicago Board of Trade started, trading options. And then warrants kind of went by the side and dropped off of everybody's radar screen. And of course, I guess everybody loves the speed and liquidity and everything of the option trading. But I think the stats still are a high percentage are going to go off the board worthless. So with warrants, we've got a lot more time. It is I always love to say, a warrant on what? It's like saying a stock option, a call option on what? It's the underlying company that we're interested in. And so it's that underlying company that we like, that we believe has the potential to rise substantially. And with the warrants, sometimes we can get them that are issued with a 4-year or a 5-year life. Now, I will say, without mentioning names, my gold subscribers, they get to see my entire portfolio. And you are one of my gold subscribers, so you get to see what we'll talk about. So I don't want to mention names to piss off all my current subscribers. But my number 1 and number 2 position based on value are both companies that have long-term warrants trading. One is a silver play that's got roughly a 4-year life. The other one is a gold play that basically has a 4.5-year life. I'm really comfortable with all that time. If I only had a year and a half of life left on these warrants, I'd be concerned. But I probably wouldn't own them. I wouldn't have bought them. But at this point, lots of time, lots of upside opportunities. One of these warrants is going, you can buy it all day long for 2 cents, and we got a 4-year life. Wow. I mean, I'm looking for 50 cents to $1 myself. So call me greedy, but we got time. And this is a little silver company that I think is it's going to be marvelous. I can't believe it's so far under everybody's radar screen here at the moment, but just big opportunities. But, the average individual should not feel bad if you are not familiar with stock warrants. So, because there's even a lot of professionals, I do believe that have no idea. I know. I remember once. I always love to tell a story. So, as people sign up, just give us your email address, and you get some bonus products. And one is my stock warrant handbook, and I make a reference to this. So, I think, as I recall, I know I saw you many times in New York at Shrining conferences. And on this one event, I'm standing there talking to a couple of the newsletter writers. And one of them says, Dudley, I hate to ask you this question, but what is a warrant? Oh, my goodness. Well, and, I just, I paused for a moment and then went ahead and answered the question and all of this. But what that tells me as well is that this individual has never participated in a private placement. Mm-hmm. Because in the mining space, all of these little companies are having private placements all the time. And there's always a warrant attached to those private placements. Now, not all of those warrants will trade, but they are, privately issued to the investors. So the company and their management team are the one that makes the decision whether they do or do not want those stock warrants to trade on the markets. So, we've got some in the mining space that actually trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Most of them are pretty much in the venture on the Toronto Exchange. But for the most part, we've got liquidity. So my message is don't be, I'd use the word embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed if you don't know what a stock warrant is. We've got all kind of free information on the site. Now got quite a few YouTube, videos up, me talking about this, that, about, exercising and expiration dates and all kind of different things. And just try to keep it simple. This is not rocket science. This is I just always say they're very similar to stock options. So just think about it, stock options, except this will trade just like shares with a symbol on the exchanges with a longer life. And that's what we want, time. We want as much time as we could possibly get on these positions, because we don't know how much time we're going to need for the gold and silver shares to really go to the moon. And that's what I'm looking to happen, for them to go to the moon. So I'm not here to make a couple of 100%. I'm here to make, 500,000, 5,000%. We're looking for home runs on virtually all of my positions. Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And those types of gains in the market, as someone who's been in it for over 40 years, are kind of hard to come by, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they don't happen all the time. And the only way you can really get those big percentages is you need to be in on the cheap. I mean, if you're buying at $5 or $10, I mean, the chance of you making thousands of percent are pretty limited. So whenever you see examples, normally those are, you're coming in, way below $1. And then you can get the incredible gains, incredible opportunities. On the homepage of our website, I've got at least probably 20 real life examples with names and percentages of the gains that I personally have had. And so just visit commonstockwarrants.com and you'll see down below just some real life examples of that have been accomplished through the years. But yeah, they just don't, you don't know when the next one's going to show up. And that's why you just need to be on board and be patient. And so sometimes I'm more of a patient guy than I ever wanted to be, but it is what it is.
It sounds like your patience is being tried here. But hey, just to tell you, back in 2011, I kind of mirrored your portfolio, and I had 10 and 12 baggers, like they were going out of style here. Like I never had in any other market. So timing in this market is really everything, isn't it?
It is incredibly so. And, sometimes you don't know how fast you could have these big gains. One of the examples I like to throw out was, what year was it? 2016? Was that when?
Yeah, 16 was the good year.
Well, and there was a company, Northern Dynasty, big project project up in Alaska, always highly controversial. And if you remember, before the election, one of Trump things Trump was going to do was ease up on the EPA regulations. Well, that little company in June of that year came out with a 5-year warrant. That warrant started trading at roughly 16.5 cents. Little did we know that warrant, I ended up exiting in January. So I was gone, 7 or 8 months, and was selling it up in the $3 range. So in at 16.5 cents and selling it in the 3 range, that was a hell of a ride, and in a really, really short period of time. So you just never know when these opportunities are going to jump up. And that's why I always encourage subscribers, stick around with us, because you never know when the next warrant's going to be issued by a company. What do I think about it or whatever? It's, everybody can have differing opinions as to what's a good deal, what's a bad deal. But no, the opportunities, I believe these two warrants, and I've got a lot more than that, but these two that I referenced that have got a 4.5 year life, we got a lot of time, and we're going to have some incredible bull markets in the metals and these mining stocks before those warrants go off the board. So it's just a matter of how much are we going to make? That's the thing. How much?
Yeah, it's inevitable, huh?
Yeah, in my mind, it is.
Yeah, mine too. But the market acts on its own time frame. Doesn't care about you, right?
Right. Well, one thing that we were chatting about before we started here, we were talking about a little bit about insiders. Following the insiders, and for my subscribers, I've been religious about this for many, many years, and I personally pay a few $100s a month for this special service to monitor all the insider activity.
Yeah.
On all of the warrants that we got in our database, which are basically, let's say 800 or so. In the mining space, we're probably looking at 115, 120, whatever, I call it mining, oil and gas. This is kind of, but I've got hyperlinks to insider trading. And this is so crucial to me. It's just ingrained in me of who I am. You have to at least ask the question, are the insiders buying or the insiders selling? Well,
yeah.
You and I know, and hopefully everybody knows, the insiders are selling. You need to be staying away from that puppy. If you own it, you need to be exiting the party. But one company that I will mention by name is Allegiant. So it's like the stadium in Las Vegas. So Allegiant Gold, and it's a little company that's anywhere from 18, 20 cents right here at the moment. They've got like 5 exploration projects in Nevada. But what we have right now is 3 insiders, I'll say, buying the hell out of it, consistently buying those shares. Open market transactions, just like you and me. So a period of accumulation. I was in at basically the same price, around 20 cents here today. For a while, it dropped down to about 12 cents. And that's kind of when the 12 to 13 cent range, if I recall, is where the insiders really started coming in much more aggressively. And this has been going on for a number of months now. So this is not a flash in the pan. And this is what I love to see, the steady accumulation by the insiders in the market. And we don't know what's going to happen, but pretty much assured it's not going to be bad news. There's no negative. They're not buying in the face of negative.
They're not buying because they expected the price to go down, are they?
That's right. That's right. So I'm really comfortable and confident. And that's this little company has no warrants that are trading. So I look at it, my personal portfolio that, again, my gold subscribers get to see. I'm just here to try to make money. Now, if there's opportunities on companies that have stock warrants, then obviously that makes sense that I'm going to buy the warrants if it's got a long life. But otherwise, if it's just some of the smaller mining companies, that I'm interested in those common shares, and so I probably it's probably about a balanced right now. I'm pretty much weighted to a lot of positions in the warrants right here at the moment with these 2 because. One, I've got a monster position in one of these warrants. Let's just say being over $1 million, it took me a while to accumulate it, but I'm looking for 50 cents to $1, and maybe a lot more in a rip-roaring market.
Really?
So,
it's trading for mere pennies now, huh?
You buy it all day long right now for 2 cents. So I'm thinking, it's just it almost sounds crazy, but. And this little company is going into production early next year. And it's like, how can this still be selling for almost nothing? It's like giveaway prices. I think it's just, it's a state of the markets where we are today.
The baby being thrown out with the bathwater.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. So they're just staying there very patiently waiting. I'd say waiting for all of you guys listening to come on board, and to see what these companies are. And then I always say, just because you get to see my portfolio, that's great. But I always want everybody to do their own due diligence.
Absolutely.
If you're on research, make sure just because I like it doesn't mean you're going to like the company. So we have to get comfortable with it. But I do monitor the insider activity on all those positions. And you'll see links on all of these companies to insiders.
Which, you got to do your own due diligence. Don't take anybody's word for anything, because in the end, if you have the loss, it's on you. It's not on the person you listen to. And don't shoot the messenger, right?
We all have to take responsibility. Yeah, that's it.
So true. All right. Hey, can you give us one more? And understand whatever Dudley's talking about here, we're not being paid to recommend these shares. This is just his opinion, educational purposes only and all that. But when Dudley talks, I generally listen.
Well, one other, and I've been on board this one. I'm gonna call it's LEO is on the venture exchange. It's Lion, Copper, and Gold. This used to be our old Quatera Resources for years.
Sure.
And a year or two ago, they changed the names. They've got a big copper project that they're still exploring, getting ready to develop in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
One of the JV partner is a subsidiary of, one of the really big companies, monster companies. The name just eludes me at the moment. So I don't have any notes on that. But no, it's a monster JV partner. But Lion, Copper, and Gold. Right now, this is probably sitting at about 8 cents. In the past, when I'd love to take some of these little companies that go back and look at a 20 or 30-year chart. Where the share prices have been. And with the mindset that there have not been any rollbacks, any reverse stock splits. In this one, there has not been. So historically, these little shares have run up to $4 from the level that we're selling at today. Now, when you read the fundamentals on this company and what they're working on there in Nevada, I still scratch my head and say, how can these shares still be sitting at 8 cents? And in the U.S., we're talking about a nickel. And I mean, it's my goodness. Well, let's just say I've got a decent position, but yeah, I'm looking, minimum 50 cents, dollar, rock and roll market, looking for a good thing. So, I love to just go down the list of everything that I do own and kind of ask myself, why the hell do I own this company? All of us need to do this.
I know that feeling. God, I know that feeling only too well.
Yeah, and I still feel, for basically all of them, a strong feeling that I understand why I'm there. It's either the insiders or a long history. I'll look at those long charts, and as long as they've got cash in the bank, not contemplating a reverse stock split. I hate those son of bitches myself. And so I just, I love these little companies. Sometimes we have to wait, but all I can say is that if you bought it at 8 cents Canadian, well, how long do you want to wait to say, get $1 or $2? I mean, it's worth waiting for is my mindset. So just be patient. And it's all about what's going to be coming is the market environment is going to change. And all of these shares are just going to explode. You and I have seen this, numerous times during our years. But the deal is, man, it's almost the harder that you want it to happen tomorrow. It just doesn't happen. It's going to take place on its own time. And we just have to be there in place and just go along for the ride. I think the fun part will be the decision. When do we start selling? When do we start lightening up?
That should be your worst.
That's going to be
your worst problem.
Yeah, that's the worst problem. So how are we going to limit our gains? Or are we going to ride this baby? Yeah.
Well, tell us though about your selling strategy. How does that work?
Well, I'm not sure there's a firm strategy. Number one, if you've got a monster gain, it's always good to take some money off the table. Back with that example on that Northern Dynasty warrant, I was thinking to myself, I mean, God, is this going to go even higher? If you bought it at 16.5 cents and you're selling it at $3 or more, well, I mean, so let's just say that's 2,000% gain or so. Well, what are we really looking to do here? So I just thought, Dudley, don't get any greedier. Just take it. This all came in 7 or 8 months.
Wow.
It was so fast. It's like, just take it and run. And sure enough, everything rolled over shortly thereafter. And the irony is that when the 5 years was up on that warrant, it went off the board at 0.
Mm-hmm.
And this happens frequently. That just because you got a 5-year life, but you may have 1 or 2 rides good volatility along that route for the 4 or 5 years. And but if you say, because some people ask the question, God, if it's a 5-year warrant, do I need to hold it for 5 years? Of course not. You can sell it tomorrow. You buy it today, sell it tomorrow. So you're not locked in. You make this decision just like the common shares. So, but no, a lot of times it doesn't make sense. I remember years ago, it's easy if you see the insiders selling. Many years ago now, the Victoria Gold, I was in Victoria Gold, and I was probably in that, at 8 to 10 cents. The insiders had really been buying, aggressively buying. And eventually it's up to 70 some odd cents. I know they've done a rollback now. The price doesn't mean anything, but back then it was we had a really nice percentage gain.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we get monster insider selling. 4 or 5 of the officers are in there selling every day. It's like, you got to go.
Yeah.
If they're going, you got to go. And that just proved to be a good, those are easy decisions when you see the insiders selling. Sometimes it's so easy, but it always makes sense. Take some money off the board. These examples I've got and where I've got a nice position. Yeah, I'd love to see them go up, 5 times right now. Sell it. I've got all the money off the table. Then decide how much you want to ride with it, And because I think as long as we got time, and as long as the mining stocks have not aggressively started kicking in to the upside, I think we've got more to go. So again, you can't have it. There's no way you can have a 10-bagger. We see the reference all the time, 10 baggers, 20 baggers.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have a 10-bagger if you're selling it when it's only up 5 times. So you got to be willing to stay, but yet you got to be smart enough to get some capital off of the table and just redeploy and buy something else with those gains. But feel good that you've had a good position, so don't mess it up. And
because so many of you out there, and myself included, I'm not holding myself out here by any stretch. That's always a problem. When do you take profits? And one thing I like to do, and when it happens, God willing, is if the stock doubles, sell half of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you never lose money taking a profit, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'd always like to get more, but I can't disagree with what you're saying, because that's the old traditional rule. When you double, you sell half, you get your money off the table, then you let the other half ride. And maybe that's the piece that will become your 10-bagger or your 20-bagger.
It could well be the case, right? I mean, hey, stuff happens. Sometimes it can be life-changing, right?
You bet. Oh, big time.
Yeah, that's what I like. Small bets with limited downside risk that can lead to huge returns. That's always, most of your portfolio, maybe you don't want to be betting the ranch on, but hey, it can really be a big deal for you.
Yeah. I think we're knocking on the door of that major opportunity. There's others that believe, like if the financial markets in the United States really roll over to the downside, that it's a good chance that the mining stocks could go down with it, because they are still stocks, and people keep selling those just because they have value, and that's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a given in my mind, but we have to be aware of that. But I think those that are saying that's their opinion, also believe that once the bottom is in, say the financial markets have hit a low, then it's going to be time for these resource companies, these highly speculative little companies that selling for pennies, that will go to the moon. Back in the late 1970s, a fellow wrote this article. I need to dust it off and I reached out to him many, many years ago and asked for permission to reprint it. And he's kind of moved on to doing other stuff other than the mining space. But he said, yeah, go for it, Dudley. And it was I think it was called Gold and Silver Stocks. How high can they go? Well, he'd gone back into the late 1970s and looked at the price of some of the shares that were selling for literally, a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, and looked in 1980 when gold was peaking in that 800 range. And some of these were up $200 a share, $300 a share, $500 a share. Can you imagine buying something for a couple of pennies and riding it to $500? I mean, that is even beyond my wildest dreams.
Like a dream come true.
Who's got the ability to stay that long? The staying power.
Hey, it's like if you bought Bitcoin when it was 5 cents. How many of you are still holding it at 67,000 right now? Right. So you never say never, but I think that was obviously an incredible time for this. The speculative markets really caught fire, and my gut just tells me we're really close to this happening again. Little more patience. Right.
I think we're going to be there, and this will be game changer, life changing money to be made on this next big upcycle for the miners. I do believe. So I'm ready for it.
I believe you're correct.
I'm well positioned, and suggest that everybody get well positioned. And whoever you like to listen to, everybody may have their favorite newsletter writers, and that's great because I listen to certain people as well. So I've got numerous subscriptions myself. Nobody has the whole grail, so you love to have differing opinions.
Yeah,
and everybody's recommending some different stocks and different approaches, and I always think that I know some of the other guys that in their newsletters, and I know they've recommended, say, XYZ company, and I know that because of my knowledge, I know XYZ company has a warrant that's trading. Well, I don't even know that company has a warrant trading because they're not paying attention to the stock warrants. So I look at stock warrants as a little bit of a filtering mechanism. It's just another service that would complement any other investment service that you've got. Whether you're looking at stock warrants in the United States or just in the regular space, there's a lot of tech companies, a lot of AI companies now that have got stock warrants that are trading. And so it just, what all that means is the more there is, that means more opportunities. But you need to do the filtering. So in our website, you can slice, dice, filter, sort any way that you want based upon our data and off of our databases. So it's really cool. Yeah, I've actually got two web guys now, and so my son still works the back end.
Oh, okay.
With all the data and has set all this stuff up for all the sorting and just all the raw data that anybody could ever want.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's a cool. I still call it a game, but it's a game being played with serious money.
And what's best about, and we got to make this clear, what's best about your website is proprietary. Yeah, you might be able to track the information down, but you'll never be able to find all the information that Dudley provides in one place. It just doesn't exist to my knowledge, Dudley.
It never has. Yeah, I came up with this idea roughly almost 20 years ago. And so we started out just being called preciousmetallswarrants.com. Mm-hmm. And decided in 2011 or 12, somewhere in there, to expand into the U.S. market with all the U.S. warrants. And so it's been quite a ride, but we via the raw data, all the data that we enter, all the SEC information, all this stuff that people have access to, charts, all kind of the links to the insider information. It's all right there in front of an individual if they want to explore that. And it's up to each individual. It's
Sure.
Me, I'm pretty much limited myself in this day and time and for the last several years to just the mining space because that's what I've always wanted. Now, do I regret that? Kind of, sort of, because, should have been a little more diversified, Right now, we're on the verge of the game, I think, coming to us. And, but yeah, there's, for people that again say that they don't like the miners, that's too volatile, it's too whatever. That's okay, because there's a lot of other opportunities within the common stock warrant databases. A lot of great opportunities out there. So something for everybody is what I like to say.
All right. Well, we like that. Hey, all right, Dudley, it's commonstockwarrants.com. You can go there, sign up for a subscription. Highly recommended. I'm a subscriber. Got a question? You can send me an email. I'll get you an answer. KL@kerrylutz.com. And you'll find the link in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. And hey, reach out to us. Let us know what you think, because I think this is one of the most amazing services that I've come across in my illustrious career here, Dudley.
Well, thank you.
It's really incredible. And just the fact that you put it together because you saw that nobody else had it, to me, really says it all. So, all right, Dudley, we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Great day. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.